So it's 11 o'clock and we're going to get started. I'm going to be bringing LaRue Briggs on. I'll tell you a little bit about her. She has an international audience. She is a alchemical hypnotherapist, and her offering for us is to help us to connect to our highest potential through the doorway of the unconscious mind. So much of what we experience in life is beyond our conscious perception. Much of the way we respond and react as well. So LaRue will be telling us a bit more about what she does. And LaRue, if you're ready, darling, we'll be bringing you on in 3, 2, 1. Let's bring on LaRue. Hey, darling, I got you sideways. You laying down for us today?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
Oh, I'm absolutely wonderful. In total gratitude.
Is that not a powerful place to be?
Yes, it really is. It
Yes.
really is. Yeah.
I'm so happy to have you here with us today. And we are looking forward to learning more about you and the work that you do. We just have a short window here. And
Okay.
if you could just tell us a little bit about what is it that you do as an alchemical hypnotherapist?
Okay. So first of all, thank you for having me. What I do is I help people through the different processes of going inside so that they can tap into their own empowerment. And I help them again by them tapping into their own resources to help alleviate fear, to help release phobias, to release pain. That's Mickey Mouse.
Oh, where are we finding Mickey Mouse streaming in with us?
Mickey Mouse was telling me that it's time, and maybe it's time for you too. So anyway, I love it. Yeah, it's a form of hypnosis. And when I say hypnosis, sometimes that conjures up the stage hypnotist and all the things that go along with that image. And I have to tell you that I've been doing this almost 30 years now. And I have never once, not even once, have I made anyone clack like a chicken or bark like a dog.
Yeah, I don't think that's the goal for most of us.
Not really.
Yeah, that's
right. But the bottom line with those preconceived ideas about hypnosis, hypnotherapy, one of the biggies is most people are afraid of losing control.
Yes.
And the reality is that with hypnotherapy, the person that I'm working with usually is sitting there waiting for something to happen. And they're hearing me and they're hearing music. And it's like, okay, what's going to happen? Then pretty soon they drop into that space like, you know, when you're falling asleep and you're not quite asleep yet, the faucet's still dripping, but you're just too sleepy to go turn it off.
Yeah.
That's the state I help people get into. They never lose control. And in fact, at the end of every session that I do, I make the suggestion to the person that they'll remember everything that happened during the session, everything they felt, saw, experienced. And that alleviates the fear of losing control and just being gone somewhere.
Yes. And I'd be very curious today to talk a little bit about what some of the benefits of this kind of therapy, I call it therapy, this kind of energy healing might bring to each of us. But first, I'd like to hear a little bit about how did you get into this field?
Well, it's a long story, but I'll give you the Reader's Digest version because we're short on time. I owned a health club for about 15 years, taught aerobics, weight training, nutrition. And at the end of every class that I taught, and I figured I taught about 3,000 aerobics classes in my career, Anyway, at the end of each one, I would do a little guided meditation for relaxation after the cool down and stretch. And my husband at the time, who has since made his transition, said to me, he was a doctor, and he said, you know, what you're doing is a form of hypnosis. You better get some training and some credentials. And I bless him all the time because I did. I went into my training in California, and I've never looked back. It's been a blessing. It's just been an accumulation of everything I have done so that I can help others in a way that, like when I had the health club and I was helping people physically, and that was great. And it was wonderful. It was very fulfilling. But I would see people come and go, and then they'd come back, and maybe they'd put the weight back on or the inches or whatever. And I realized it had to be something in the brain. It had to be something in the head as well as the body.
Yes.
And so again, through my studying, I mean, I really got that. And fast forward today, I really know it. And I think it's becoming more, people are more aware of the connection between the brain, the mind, and the body.
So you're saying that there was a time when you were really helping people structure their lives and bring in practices that were training their body and helping make them more healthy, right, but that there were maybe some deeper things, some things that were going on maybe an unconscious level that
right, were
impacting the ways that the results that they were getting.
Exactly. And so during my training, I trained in several modalities of hypnotherapy, but the main one was alchemical. And I'd like to kind of delve into that right now. The word alchemy simply means a catalyst for change. Okay. So alchemical hypnotherapy is a hypnotherapy protocol to help somebody make change. And what happens is, and what I've studied and what I use in my practice is a way in which to go into the subconscious mind by helping the person relax. It's like turning a dial on the old radio stations. You know, you turn it from the left to the right. Well, that's how it is with what I do. I turn the volume of your left brain, the logical, analytical, critical part of your brain, over to the imagination, creativity, and spiritual side of the brain, the subconscious. And the subconscious actually holds everything that a person has ever seen, smelled, touched, experienced in their entire life.
Wow.
It's all right there.
Wow.
And in that development, especially from childhood, behaviors are created from absorbing their environment, children, and consequently they develop ways and means of coping. We all do. I mean, we're all, we as adults, we're all there. And they're called, those coping mechanisms are called subpersonalities. Now, that doesn't mean they're multiples. In that sense, we all have them. For example.
And sometimes these are patterns or habits that don't really serve us, aren't they?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They may have gotten us through whatever we were going through as a child, or even in our young adulthood. But then as we go through life, they stop working.
Yeah.
And so to tap in and address those subpersonalities. Example, there's an inner critic. Why'd you do that? There's the inner judge. All right, you did that, you're going to pay the consequences.
Mm.
The inner parents. If I've told you once, I've told you 100 times, don't do that. Okay. And then there's the inner child. Yeah, but I wanted to do it. Okay. There's all these voices going on in our heads. And it's not that we're crazy. It's just, again, ways of coping. So one of the modalities that I use is to take the person into a relaxed state. And then we talk to all those parts. And the goal being to total integration, obviously.
And so you're going to share with us a little bit, a little practice a little later on today.
Yeah, that's more just about finding peace.
Okay.
and go on. I won't do the subpersonalities. That's a bit much, but
Yeah.
definitely to relax. That's for
Yes.
sure. Yeah.
And what you've been in this field for many, many years, decades actually. And
Yes.
so you've probably heard so much from different people. And what do you find that is the question that people ask you the most about your practice or about hypnotherapy?
Okay. The biggest question I get is, will I be able to be hypnotized?
Aha.
Okay. And the answer is only if you want to be.
Mm,
I actually can't make anybody do anything they don't want to do. That's not what this is
that's
about.
comforting.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
Exactly. Uh, Hypnosis in any form is mostly motivational.
Mm,
It's a way of tapping in again to the person's inner strengths and their own power. It's not about me. And so it's a short term, and I hesitate to use the word therapy because it's not really therapy, but it's a therapeutic modality. It's short term, so people would not expect to come see me like every Tuesday for the rest of their life. I mean, it's going to be maybe 3, 5, 10 sessions. That's it. But the main thing is, can I be hypnotized? Yes. One, if you want to be, and two, if you can relax.
yes.
And there's various ways of relaxing. And
I'm imagining you probably have some techniques to help people
I do. I have
relax.
a lot of techniques.
Because
Yes.
so many of us in the busy world today, I know I've
Oh,
run into that
absolutely.
myself, is, uh, you know, how
Right.
to even relax, how to even get started, with
Right.
that.
And that's what we'll be doing towards the end of our talk.
Oh,
A
great.
really quick thing that you can do anytime, anywhere.
Excellent. And in general, if someone were to come and see you and want to pursue a deeper understanding of themselves through this kind of work, what kind of results could they expect to get? What would be the motivation for someone wanting to come?
Okay, the motivation would be if they really were ready to release fear, to let go
Mm,
of phobias,
yes.
to heal pain, heal their bodies.
Yeah.
I mean, we have so much power to heal our bodies.
Oh, we do, don't
We
we?
really do. And we're just now finding out about it. I mean, again, I come from the medical world because before I had my health club, I was an x-ray tech. So I in and out of that field for a while too. And so I get the Western and the alternative healing modalities. And I'm so glad to see finally they're merging somewhat. And because we do have the power.
Me too.
And so if a person, again, wants to get rid of the pain, wants to heal their body, wants to quit smoking, wants to lose weight, really has a desire and is ready to do it, I can help. I can't make them do it,
Yeah.
but I can help.
Now, with the experience in both the traditional medical field and in this area of energy healing, how
Mhm.
successful is hypnotherapy?
It's very successful. Again, because it's so individual and because the person's ready, it will happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I'm not going to talk to somebody who has a broken bone, or that kind of thing, but a huge percentage of what people struggle with
Mm.
is on the subconscious level. And again, in order to get there and for that to remain successful, whatever is in the subconscious that's creating that pattern has to be changed. It has to be reframed. So once it's reframed on a subconscious level, then that's going to come through. It's going to come through the body and feelings, and it's going to come through to the conscious mind as a
Right.
behavior.
So how would someone know that this was a modality that they might benefit from? If your life looks pretty good on the outside,
Mhm.
maybe you're struggling with, just the ordinary day-to-day things like, staying fit and staying healthy, or um, I guess sometimes integrating the best habits in your life, or um, you know, h- what would how would someone know that it's an unconscious thing that is at play, that is keeping us from our results? Do you know what I'm asking with that?
Kind of, sort of. Um,
Yeah. Okay. I guess I'm looking for, if someone's walking through their life and
yeah.
they're experiencing stress, and they're trying exercise, and they're trying diet, and maybe they're not
Okay.
sleeping really well, and
Yeah.
how would they know? How would the what are these the kinds of things? What are the kinds of things? Maybe that's my question, is what are the kinds of things that people would be experiencing in their lives that might incline them towards wanting to
Okay.
explore
Okay.
this this
Now I see.
modality?
Well, in addition to the things that I previously mentioned, a person might be at a point in their life where they really don't know what their next step is, or like you said, they're cruising along and they're doing this and they're doing that, and they're doing whatever. They're not quite where they want to be.
Right.
Then this would be something to explore. And of course, doing talks like this is helping educate people as to what it is. It's certainly nothing mysterious. It's just a very natural thing. So a lot of times people come to me and they don't really know exactly what they want.
Yeah.
Either I've been referred by a friend, or they've read something about, for example, Joe Dispenza, or one of the leaders in the alternative healing. Oh,
Ah!
you know what? I knew that was going to happen.
Nice save, LaRue. Nice save.
It's funny. I love it. Anyway, so education, obviously, but the other thing that can happen is, through going into the subconscious mind, you can actually go into your higher self, that
Mm.
part of you that knows, that part of you that has all the answers to all the questions, and actually all the questions to all the answers. It's all inside.
So anyone that was just feeling like there was something more, and they didn't have a sense of what maybe the solution is, that traditional medicine wasn't necessarily solving the issue, and
Right.
they wanted to explore something that was more natural, and they wanted to explore something that might invite them into their inner landscape. And you can be a kind of a guide of
Exactly.
you would open
Right.
the door to this unconscious
Subconscious. Yeah.
space,
Yeah.
the
Absolutely.
subconscious
Yeah.
space,
Yes.
and be
Absolutely.
able to help us connect with our own answers.
Right. And that's my prime focus, is helping people tap into their own power.
Wow.
It's not about me, it's about them.
Right. And
Yeah.
we're learning more and more. I know I am in my own life that, whatever's when we reach for things outside of ourselves and we think that's going to be the solution,
Right.
that's going to make it better. And then the truth I keep finding over and over again is the answers lie within
With
me. You know, you
exactly.
you you mentioned to me when we first started talking about this piece is an inside job. And
Yes,
and
exactly.
the program here on Follow the Peace Trail is all about beginning within, and being able to empower our own lives towards peaceful life, peaceful resolutions, um, peaceful way of living. And
Yeah,
what I'm hearing you say is you help guide us into places that can help us to access those things.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
exactly it. Beautifully put. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Well, beautifully done. I'm very excited. We're learning a lot about what different tools are available today.
Right.
And I think that the concept of hypnotherapist, the idea of a hypnotist, people do have some preconceived
Yeah.
notions
Yeah.
about that.
Right.
It can
Right.
be a little scary. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, am I going to, the first time I was ever visited a hypnotherapist, I was worried that I was going to say things or do things
Yeah.
that would
Right.
embarrass me, or and I mean, I would love to live in a place where I could stand naked with who I am in the world, and I definitely strive to do that. But at the same time, there are some scary ideas about that. If people
Yeah.
find this out, they won't love me, or if that truth is whatever, all that kind of
Right. Right. Right.
silliness. So
So when a person does tap into their power through whatever modality, and I'm part of a group, Sacred Sedona Now, that has 9 other practitioners besides myself that have all kinds of modalities to do just that, to tap into personal power in
yes,
various ways.
yes.
And it's a beautiful thing. And once they get that feel, there are no limits. Anything's possible.
Isn't that the truth? I love
Yeah.
that. Say that again.
Once you tap into your own deep personal power and really access it, everything is possible.
I so believe that.
Yeah, I
And
do too.
that's part of what motivates this whole peace trail, is the idea that peace, world peace, is actually
Yes.
possible. I have my own heart belief that we could live in love with one another. And
Yes,
I believe that with all my heart. And
I do too.
I think as we do access those things, and
Right.
through my own work, teaching meditation and mindfulness, and sharing my work as an artist, I believe that all of those things are tools for
Oh,
helping
yes,
us
absolutely. Yeah.
to
Oh, and
access.
I do want to clarify, when you mentioned meditation, what I do is very similar to guided meditation.
Yes.
The big difference is that once I get that person, or that person gets to that nice relaxed state, I can then give positive suggestions as to what their issue is, where you wouldn't do that in a guided meditation. You would just take them to the relaxed state, which
Right.
is beautiful. And they kind of work hand in hand. And I've done tons and tons of guided meditations, as I shared earlier.
Yes.
But the big difference is then I, as the therapist, as the hypnotherapist, would make positive suggestions as to dealing with whatever the issue is,
Right.
on a positive level.
That's
And the other thing that comes to mind, the subconscious mind, as powerful as it is, does not know reality, does not know a joke, does not know sarcasm. It takes everything literally.
right.
So when you're in that relaxed state, you do tend to take in whatever is said. And that's why, in my opinion, it's dangerous to go to sleep with the TV on, because you never know what the TV is going to throw at you.
Right.
Anyway,
What kind of seeds are being planted in that?
Yeah, right. A little sideline there.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, no, that opens up a whole nother conversation for another time that I would
Right.
love to explore, is the power of suggestion when we are in that relaxed, sleepy state.
Right. Right.
And how to come into a powerful sleep state. But we're not going to sleep today. We're going until later. But I would love to invite you to share with us a moment of relaxation and take us into a state where we might find ourselves more receptive to the positive ideas we might even suggest to ourselves.
Exactly. Okay, let me get my music going here. All right, so this is a technique that anybody could use at any time. You wouldn't have to have your eyes closed, although you could. You could have them open or closed. You could be sitting still. The only time I would say not to do is when you're driving. Don't try it when you're driving. Okay. And so the first thing I'm going to invite you to do is just press your index fingers and your thumbs together like this. And just place them in your lap or beside your body, wherever it's comfortable, preferably your feet on the floor. And if you want your eyes closed, that's great. And if you don't, that's okay too. So I'm going to invite you to just simply be aware of your breathing. Just notice it. Don't try to change it. Just let it be. And as your awareness deepens to your breath, be aware of that part of you that's being aware. Now focus a little more intently on your breathing. And I'm going to invite you to breathe into the count of 4, hold your breath to the count of 4, and then release your breath to the count of 8, still holding your fingers and your thumbs together. So breathing in, 2, 3, 4, hold your breath, 2, 3, 4, release, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold your breath, 2, 3, 4, release, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold your breath, 2, 3, 4, and release, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Last time, 2, 3, 4, hold your breath, 2, 3, 4, and release, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now release your breathing and release your fingers and your thumbs and just observe how you feel in your body. Taking yourself to that place inside of peace, tranquility, serenity. And as you find the peace within yourself, those around you, people, places, and things, will find peace. And ultimately, the world will find peace. Thank you. Now bring yourself back to wherever you are. And I thank you.
Wow, LaRue, that was a very powerful moment.
Thank you.
To drop into that space. And this sounds like something people could carry with them and
Absolutely.
do wherever they are.
Absolutely.
If
Just
you
not in the
feel
car.
a little
Well, maybe in the car.
anxiety.
You could do it in the car if you didn't shut your eyes. It
Yeah,
would help with traffic.
Or if you're, pulled over by the side of the road or something. But
seriously.
I'm imagining if you felt that rising up in you, then, any kind of anxiety or anything, then you could reach for your breath and
exactly
take yourself.
And so it's basically 4 counts. Breath in, hold the breath to 4, and release to 8, and repeat it 4 times.
Wow, beautiful.
Yeah.
LaRue, I am so grateful for you to come on and share something of your gifts with us here for Midweek Metaphysics. You are a part of the Sacred Sedona Now group.
I am.
You can learn more about you on their website and also your own personal website. Both of those links are going to be in the post, the video post here.
Great.
And,
thank you.
Yes, and I would encourage people to take a look and see. LaRue has many, many ways that she can help bring us into a more peaceful place and to explore what's happening in our subconscious minds in ways that can empower and support us as we seek to live our most vital and productive lives. So Thank
Yes,
you so
ma'am.
much
Thank
for being
you.
with us,
Thank you.
LaRue. And
Thank you.
we will talk again soon.
Okay, that's a promise.
Okay.
Yes? Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
And for those of you that are still with us here, I'm just so grateful that you tuned in. That was LaRue Briggs, Alchemical Hypnotherapist. She is here in Sedona, Arizona, and with the Sacred Sedona, now a group of energy healers who bring decades of experience to each of us with an opportunity to empower our greatest lives. I am Shey Khandro. I am also coming to you from Sedona. I am an artist, a painter, a sculptor, a jewelry designer, and I am a philosopher and a bit of a peacenik. And we have programs for you throughout the month of September. I do want to mention tomorrow we have a wonderful program for children. This year we have two different segments for children, one this week and one next week. This week it's going to be with Anna Hansen of Growing Peaceful Hearts, and she has a program for little children and their parents, and I'm very excited about what she's bringing because, of course, some of the struggles we have as adults are from not being exposed to some of these ideas as children. So there is an opportunity for this next generation to come into being with more focus and more understanding of the power of our hearts, the power of our minds. And so I hope that you'll join us. And then on the International Day of Peace, which is Monday, September 21st, please join us. In the morning, we have a live guided meditation from L'Auberge de Sedona, hosted by Goldenstein Gallery. And then in the afternoon, evening, depending upon your time frame, we have a multiple hour, I think it's 4 or 5 hours at this point, Peace Day Music Festival. It's called Valerie Romanoff's Groove into Bliss Peace Day Music Festival. Valerie is an amazing musician and music producer, and she has pulled together talented people from around the globe to bring us some inspiring, uplifting music that'll help carry our intentions for a more peaceful world out into the world to expand and nourish and create possibility. At the top of each hour, we will have luminaries that will also be sharing with us some beautiful words of inspiration and possibility. Throughout the Peace Trail, we are offering tools, everyday tools for each of us to be able to use to connect with our highest selves and act in a way that's going to help us to create a more peaceful and compassionate world. Again, I'm Shey Khandro. You can find more about my work on Facebook at Cherub Shey Khandro or at sheyglobal.com on the World Wide Web. Thank you again for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you for joining us.